Hi, fellow traders. I'm going to recap my trades from the last 3 days. I had a couple of challenging days, Wednesday and Thursday. Ended those days red. Didn't trade very well at all. And Friday kind of brought it back around, and got my week ended on a high note. But I want to share some of the mistakes that I made on Wednesday and Thursday. And then not necessarily mistakes, things that I didn't notice at the time. But I noticed after I went back and studied and reviewed the charts and all that good stuff. So on Wednesday, I traded AWK, and the first trade out of the gate was awesome. I was looking at this, and like I've explained before, my watch list will be done by 9 o'clock. I'm not gonna add anything to it. Just because I want to watch it. I want to watch those tickers I have on watch going into open. I want to see how they trade the last 30 minutes. And a lot of times they make the moves that I want to see at open in the 30 minutes leading up to the open. So in this case, this level here, 68.49, 68.50, held as resistance all through pre-market and right into the open. So I was looking short on this from the start, and I let this first candle open, and it washed a little bit, kind of got bought back up like I'd anticipated, and it tried to open down, and it came up just a hair, but then it started to sell off. So once I saw this, I went over and jumped on the 2-minute chart and saw that I had a clear, not so much a clear signal or a clear trigger, but looking at everything, this was a perfect entry. I didn't have to wait until we lost the VWAP. Everything just kind of lined up and told me that this was a good short. So I got short here, and within 5 minutes I got this nice wash. So I took profit here at 67.70 on the way down. Took some here at 67.40 or 67.20. Yeah, 67.20, and then noticed, and I mentioned in chat that this thing looked like it was getting ready to turn. It had all the indicators that this was going to turn at this point, but because I didn't see any level of support, I didn't really give it that much thought, other than I kind of felt that it was going to turn, and sure enough it did. This candle, it sold off. I was able to take some profit, and it got bought back up, and then this candle opened and it sold off almost immediately again, right back down to the 20s or the teens. Then it got bought back up right to the VWAP. And I really should have gotten rid of the shares I had when I had that feeling that this thing was going to turn, but I didn't, and just held on. And when it closed over the VWAP, I went ahead and took it off. Now this also was a perfect VWAP setup that I was pretty mad at myself for not taking, because I went chasing after a home run potential trade when I had a home run potential trade in my face, which was the first mistake I made. This, I believe, was a mistake. I'm not trusting what I saw, but I stuck to my plan. I got out over VWAP, and this should have been my entry right here. This candle was my signal, to get in, but I didn't. This thing ran up without me while I'm watching this other stock never set up. So a little bit of revenge trading here. I'm thinking that, okay, now it's push this, it's going to pop and we're going to get all-time highs because there was no resistance above. This was a blue sky breakout. And of course, like an amateur, I jumped in it looking for the blue sky breakout. Didn't take anything here in the 80s when I got that. And it came back. Then this candle started to sell off. So my stop was 68.50. I didn't want to stop out. I wanted to be right so bad that I held on to this and said maybe it's going to test, the 9, take some stop losses out and then come back. Well, no, it closed below the 9. Then this candle printed and I'm still holding on. And I did say that I was going to add to my position here at 68. I added here. I'm sorry. I didn't. I added to my position here and brought my average down to around, say, I think it was 68.45 or something like that. But I added here and said I was going to add here on the VWAP so that if it lost the VWAP, my average would be down and I wouldn't take such a big loss. But I didn't follow through with my plan. I kind of got scared, I'm not gonna lie, and I went ahead and covered it right here at the VWAP. Whereas had I added here, my average probably would have got down to 68.20s, and you can see I could have got out here with a little bit of probably flat after commissions. I could have got out, but just kind of got scared, didn't follow through with my plan, and took a big loss. So everything I made here, I lost back here. So that kind of made me irritated on the day. So I'm still revenge trading here. I'm still not going to let this ticker go. So I shorted it here under the VWAP, looking for a VWAP fade, and did get a little move down here for me to take profit at 67.77. But immediately it turned back around, and this time I did stick to my stop, right here on VWAP. Got out and just kind of quit, even though this was the move here to get in, where it pushed up off the VWAP, but I didn't. I was pretty much mad at myself, and I was done with AWK for the day. That was 3 trades, and I only made like 60 some bucks on the second one. So I was up about 60 bucks on this trade, up about 60 bucks for the day, and really should have quit then, but I didn't. Found MBLY, and I'm looking at this for a top reversal. Had a nice setup. It ran up and slammed into this resistance here. Then as it failed, I went ahead and got in. You can see right here on this 2-minute chart, this was, my trigger to enter right here. So I entered it, and then it started trading sideways. So, and as I'm looking at this, I just kind of glanced over at the 2-minute, and this thing is looking bullish. And I'm like, man, this just ain't my day. So as this was going up, the 9 was trending up, the 20 was trending up, everything was trending up. So I started questioning my thought process as to why I went short on this when everything still looked bullish. It didn't look like it was ready to turn, but I jumped in anyway and ended up taking a nice loss on here. So I was red on the day. I think I lost $100 on this trade. So, that ensured my red day. Didn't take any more after that. I was pretty much, out for the day. So that was my Wednesday. On Thursday, I was only able to take 1 trade CNQ, this was another top reversal attempt. And, I was trying to catch the reversal under this level here. I kind of missed it and was kind of chasing it a little bit and got in here at 24.19 or 24.18, somewhere in there. And then it immediately turned on me. So, I sat here for a while and my stop was supposed to be right here over this, but I waited for it to confirm over this level, over 24.26. And when it confirmed over it, I went ahead and took it off. And that was another nice loss. But I couldn't trade anymore that day. I had an emergency come up and I had to leave. And so that ensured me 2 red days in a row. So going into Friday, the last thing I wanted to do was to end up with 3 red days in a row and then go into the weekend having to think about it. So I made sure I focused 100%, got the best watches I could get, and just kind of tracked them, going into open. So HRB kind of stood out to me as my front runner, and I wanted to see it. This level held, as you can see, this level held as support all through pre-market. And it kind of traded in between these two levels, this window right here. So I wanted to see it push up, into this so I could short into this push, and then catch the fade back. Well, this candle opened and washed out, touched this support, and then kind of got bought back up. And then this candle opened, a little bit higher. It did dip down a little bit and went red, but I was seeing too many things that caused me to pause. Number one, this was too far from VWAP, further away from VWAP than I wanted to get in this trade. Plus, I'm seeing this lower deviation band. I saw it trend up. And so I thought, well, this thing is probably going to go up. Hopefully it'll touch this like I planned, and I would get short into this. So I waited, and it didn't quite make the move up here. So my dilemma was, do I look at getting short now, or do I wait until it cracks this level and got VWAP right here? So patience. Because of the last 2 days I had, I decided that I need to be patient and wait for the setup. I mean, if it took off and never set up for me, then oh well, I just missed that trade. But, be disciplined and wait for your setup. So that's what I did. I waited until it failed VWAP again. This was my signal because it closed below VWAP. And so I automatically switched over to the 2-minute chart. And this is the candle that I actually got in on. Some reason that arrow got pushed over, but this is the same arrow right here. And this is the candle that I got in on. So I took it short, risking on the VWAP. Took profit here at this level, 28.52. I think I got out at 28.55 is when I took some profit here. And I always, when I get to an area of resistance or area of support, if I'm short, I'm going to take some profit. And I took some here and then waited to see what it was going to do. And it gave me another wash, so I took some profit here at 28. And was really, my plan was to just leave this last 500 shares on, and unless it broke the 9, was just leave it on and see if I could get down to this level here. But I started thinking about the losses, and this is why when you lose 2 days in a row, or you lose a couple trades in a row, it gets in your head and it doesn't allow you to let the trades work and for you to allow the follow through on those trades. So I kind of, then I just changed my mind. I said I'm not gonna let it get over 28, and this thing popped up, and I ended up taking it off at 28.08. And then you can see my original plan was, keep it on as long as it stayed under the 9. But, well, just kind of lost that. So here I go revenge trading again. I want to get it off the bounce. So, this candle printed. So I switched over to 2-minute. I got in on this candle here. This made a higher high. So I got in on this candle and took some profit here at 27.60. I got in at 28.18, took some at 28.60, and left some on, and it just never materialized. This was my stop below this daily level here, and as soon as it confirmed below it, I went ahead and took it off. But nice trades. Everything was, everything just happened just right for me to end my month good. Really don't have anything else to say other than, it was, having red days is a struggle, especially when you didn't feel too good about your trades the first 2 days. It's kind of one of those double-edged swords. So my week, I just added March on the bottom of this. Had a good Monday and Tuesday, kind of a scrappy days. Then a red day Wednesday, red day Thursday, and Friday I finished the day, pretty strong. It ended up with $3,700 a week. That's not bad considering I had some struggles this week. I feel pretty good about it. Now I did take one swing trade. This is like my first major swing trade, and I'm trying to add some swing trades to what I do. Day trading may not be there all the time. Who knows, the market just may go to crap for a couple weeks, and swing trading may be the only way to go. So I started with some names I was familiar with, and I can't really tell you a strategy because I'm still learning, and I'm not going to try to explain, in detail, what I do. But, NAV was the ticker I took, and I noticed it. This is a stock I followed when I was teaching and my students, because we had a relationship with Navistar at the school. They were like, they provided us with engines and trucks and educational tools and all of that. And this was before they had some trouble with the engine and stuff. And so we were always following this stock, because we had, an interest in it. And, so I kind of kept it on all this time. And I noticed it did make an all-time low here. And I thought about getting in here, but there was there wasn't a discernible pattern, for me to take. And I just kind of, watched it for a little bit. And then there was a kind of a triangle that formed here. And I went ahead and took it once it broke out of this triangle. And it, went up and it tested it. My stop was going to be, where was it? This candle here. The bottom of this candle was going to be my stop. So I got in here and just let it go. And I almost got stopped out on this day. But, then I started getting a nice run up that I was looking for. And then Thursday, normally when they have earnings, you've got these these indicators that tell you that they're going to announce earnings and whatnot. But evidently they did some announcement on earnings or something, and the stock spiked. And as soon as it spiked, I gave it some room to see if I was going to hit this level here, because this was kind of my target. My ultimate target was this level. And, when it came up and pulled back, I went ahead and took it off. And it looks like the next day it did finally touch this. I just couldn't wait. When you get this kind of move, you need to go ahead and at least take some off. But, I had 2 bad days day trading, and I was going to enjoy this swing trade win. So I was pretty stoked with it. But I won't be really posting these that much, because I'm still trying to learn swing trading. And, I don't want to get people fouled up when I don't know what I'm doing half the time. So that was my week. As far as day trading, that wasn't good. Wasn't that good of a week. It was an okay week for me. But, I got to take the good with the bad. Got to take the average with the good and the bad. So I'll take it. I'm studying right now. That's what I've been doing since, I stopped talking to some of the traders that I'm mentoring, and I got to studying. So I'm going to go back to it. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'm going to get back at it bright and early Monday morning in chat.